Welcome to another edition of The Night Sky this week for November 22nd, 2021. I'm your host, Andrew Fazekas, The Night Sky Guy. So glad you could join me today. Why don't we dive in to what we can see this week in the sky? First off, of course, I want to welcome everyone. I have the comment section open, so you can leave in where you're watching from. I love to see that. I see folks from South Africa, from Morocco, from Ukraine, from Canada, Turkey, all over the place. France, of course. Just fantastic to see all of you guys from around the world joining me today. I hope you have some clear skies. Did you catch the beautiful lunar eclipse that happened last week? Perhaps you saw it in person. Maybe you saw it online live. There were lots of live streams going on. It was fantastic. It really was. Here in Montreal, where I am, I managed to catch it between a lot of clouds. There were just some small holes in the clouds that allowed me to see it, and for a few moments at a time. And I got to see the best part, the maximum eclipse, where it actually turned orangey, kind of a dark, beautiful orange, and then a light edge to it, because of course this was a deep partial lunar eclipse. So meaning that the moon's disk didn't go entirely into the surface, into the, I should say, the shadow of the Earth, but sort of mostly 97%. So there was this little bite of the moon that appeared silvery while most of it was orange during maximum eclipse. And that was happening for me at 4 o'clock in the morning. So it was a great event, 3.5 hours, but I saw the maximum and about an hour centered on that maximum, which was great for me. So I hope you guys got to see something. And the live streams were great, coming from places like Hawaii, from Australia, Japan, places in the United States that got front row seats for it. So that was a lot of fun. Why don't we dive into the planetarium program, and I'll show you what's in store for this week in the sky. So here we have the night sky set up at sunset. I usually like to start with that because you'll see a first few hints of stellar objects, planetary objects that come into view as soon as darkness begins to fall when the sun has set in the west. So this is what you're going to be seeing this week, basically, with the brightest star-like object in the low southwestern sky is planet Venus, which it has been for a while. And then you've got the pair of Jupiter and Saturn really beautifully pairing up. And you can see, again, this lineup, this diagonal line of these three worlds, that neighboring worlds that are right there easy to see. Even if you have light polluted skies, this is something. Saturn is the faintest of the three, and Venus is the brightest of the three. Now, there's also real true stars that come into view as darkness falls. So maybe perhaps a half hour, 45 minutes after your local sunset, then you start seeing the hints of first stars. Like Altair up here is a bright star in the constellation Aquila, the eagle. This is traditionally a summertime constellation for those of us in the northern hemisphere. In the winter, it's winter time in the southern hemisphere. And Altair is a star that's fairly close to us. It's about 17 light years away from Earth, and that's a neat star. And then Fomalhaut as well. Fomalhaut is another bright star, very much present for those of you in the southern hemisphere, of course. And this is what the sky looks like for me here in mid-latitude northern hemisphere. So folks in New York, Washington, Rome, Italy, Tokyo, Japan, that kind of area would have very similar looking skies as what I'm projecting here. And if you're in other places, maybe near the equator or in the southern hemisphere, you'll still see the same objects, but they'll be oriented slightly differently. So this is the sunset. But if we go a little bit later, you'll see a lot more stars popping out. And what you'll notice is, of course, we were all talking about the moon last week, but the moon is now out of the evening sky, early evening sky, and is rising later and later as it's a waning gibbous moon this week. So if we stick to the early evening, one of the best things to do this week without the moon in the early evening sky is, of course, looking for deep sky objects. These are objects beyond the solar system. So I like to show that for you guys because, timing is everything of when to get the best views. And when the moon is out of the sky, in the evening time, it really is a great opportunity to take advantage of those dark skies and see those darker, more challenging, I don't say difficult, but a little bit more challenging objects. Now, one of the easiest deep sky objects that I just love and people, wonder at it. I mean, the awesomeness is not what it looks like, it's what it is. And that's the Andromeda Galaxy. And this week is really a perfect time. I've talked many times about it, but this week particularly is really good. The positioning in the sky is excellent. So I would highly recommend on the next clear night this week is look for the Andromeda Galaxy. And here I'm going to show you how to find it as easily as possible. And so the Andromeda Galaxy, remember, is a neighboring galaxy to the Milky Way that we live in. It's about 3 times larger than the Milky Way, and it sits 2.6 million light years away. And it ranks as one of the farthest objects the human eye can see at 2.6 million light years away. And how you find this object is using bright constellations, or in fact, asterisms, part of constellations. And one of the brightest asterisms in the sky is the Cassiopeia constellation. What looks like basically a giant W, a wide W shape. So let me just turn on the asterisms here, and we can see it. It's right here. And it's basically a giant W. You can see here, I'm going to turn down some of these star names because I find that they're a little bit annoying, the density here. There. So if we look at this giant W here, I'm going to pull it down a little bit right there. You're looking towards the high northeast sky. Okay, high northeast sky. Here you can see there's northeast. If we put it down here, this is where you're looking. You're looking for Cassiopeia. It's kind of a W on its side. And then look for the right side of this W. Let me just turn off this lines here. So you can see this is the right side of this W. Let me pull it down here. There we go. So right here, 1, 2, 3. You can see my pointer showing these 3 stars. So imagine this as an arrow, and it points to this oval right here. That's just the Andromeda Galaxy. You can see right here. And basically, I would recommend, if you have binoculars, bring them out and then scan the sky. You'll see this 3 stars in your binoculars, and then sort of scan to the right as it's pointing. This little pointing arrow is pointing to this oval. And what you're looking for is a faint oval smudge, what looks like a little cotton ball in the binoculars. Now, if your skies are dark enough, and this shines around the 4th magnitude, 4.3, 4.5, something like that, is where Andromeda Galaxy is shining. And so that makes it within the realm of naked eye viewing, and it looks like a very faint smudge under dark sky. So if you have no moon, as it is this week, this is the time to see it. So from here, these 3 stars in Cassiopeia, the right side, so I'm looking at the right side of this W, right? This wide angle W. Here's 1 star, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? It's wide angle W. And just take the right side of that W, looks like an arrow, and it points to this faint smudge just off to the right of it. And that is Andromeda Galaxy. It sits in the constellation Andromeda the Princess. You can see here the mythological figure. And next to it is her mother. Princess Andromeda's mother is Queen Cassiopeia. And that is what makes up this giant W. Basically, the chair that Cassiopeia sits on is what this W is. And so you point it there and try looking. You use binoculars to make it easier for yourself to see it. But if your eyes adapt maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes to your backyard, pull down all the lights, make sure there's nothing shining in your face, and let your eyes adapt, and you should be able to see, even in mild light polluted conditions, this faint oval that represents Andromeda Galaxy. And of course, with binoculars, it'll be easy, even within city limits, to see that faint smudge in the binoculars. And if you have a telescope, then it becomes more interesting. Of course, you see that smudge becomes oval. Under higher magnifications, you can see there's 2 smaller smudges beside them. One's called Messier 110, and the other one's called Messier 32. Those are 2 satellite galaxies to Andromeda. Now, Andromeda is a really cool galaxy because it's basically a giant version of the Milky Way. Like I said, it's about 3 times larger. We think it holds about 1 trillion stars. Take a look at this beautiful picture here. Let me see if I can bring it up. There you go. So this is the Andromeda Galaxy. It's a spiral galaxy. Think of a pinwheel on a angle, a very steep angle. You can see hints of these dark lanes, these and bright lines. These are the spiral arms of the Andromeda Galaxy. Imagine 1 trillion stars is what's shining here. And we can't see the individual stars because they're too far away. And we see the combined light of the entire galaxy. And imagine 1 trillion stars. We think, maybe 300, 400 billion stars in the Milky Way. And there's at least 1 trillion, we think, in the Andromeda Galaxy. And it sits 2.6 million light years away. And what you're seeing here is a picture of what it would look like as a nice photograph taken through a telescope. You'll just see probably the downtown core of the Andromeda Galaxy right here, this area, through your telescope. And if you kind of move around up and down the oval, above the oval, you'll have the M110, this smaller satellite galaxy. And down here, you'll see M32, the other small satellite galaxy that contain a few million stars. And they orbit the Andromeda Galaxy, which is, it's incredible to think that the light that you're seeing has traveled for 2.6 million years. When you see this with the naked eye, when you see it with binoculars or telescopes, the combined light of those trillion stars have traveled 2.6 million years to reach your eye. It's one of the true wonders of the sky is Andromeda Galaxy. So I do want you to prep yourself this week. It's fantastic. So if we move on to other parts of the sky, and of course, if we go little bit later in the hours, look at that. Lo and behold, there's the waning gibbous moon. Where is the moon, and when can you see it in the sky? Right now, early in the week, it rises around 10 o'clock p.m. local time. Around 10 o'clock, you'll see it rising. And where is it? It's in the constellation Gemini. So this one that you're seeing here is basically Monday, November 22nd. This is where the moon is. And if we showcase it on Tuesday, look at that. Beautiful pairing with the twins, the Gemini twins, Castor and Pollux. You can see here, the heads of the twins are going to be with the waning gibbous moon together. This is easy to see. You don't need binoculars or telescopes. Of course, if you do, you can start looking for interesting things close up. But the moon is going to be pairing up with Pollux, which is this yellowish star, one of the twins. It's about 33.8 light years away. Castor, next door, the other twin, is farther a bit at 50.9 light years away, and they'll be just beautifully capsulated there in the sky in the east late at night around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, Tuesday, November 23rd. So if we keep moving in the days, the moon will enter Cancer the crab, but a little bit later. If we go out near closer to midnight, this is where it is. And what will be nice, those of you that are willing to stay up and look at this, Cancer the crab contains a beautiful cluster, an open cluster, very famous. It's called the beehive cluster. And as the name implies, it looks like a bunch of bees buzzing around in deep space. A beautiful amount of jewels, about 50 to 60 stars easily come into view with binoculars, and it's right next to the moon. The moon will act as a guidepost. Of course, the glare of the moon, I think, will make you require a binocular to really see it, but it's something that's not hard to see. This is about the field of view through an average pair of binoculars. There's the cluster. You can see beautiful cluster, and there's the waning gibbous moon. Again, when is this happening? This is going to be Wednesday late at night, near midnight, looking towards the eastern sky. And then finally, if we can kind of move later into the week, there we go. We're looking again after midnight. You'll see it moving towards Leo the lion. So now we're kind of in the early morning. So if you're kind of a super early bird, you'll be able to look at the moon pairing up with Leo the lion and its brightest star, of course, Regulus. Regulus is a brilliant blue-white star that sits about 78 light years away. 78 years it takes the light from Regulus to reach our eyes. And there we'll have the quarter moon, and this is on basically Saturday morning. So early Saturday morning, say 2, 3 o'clock, or when you wake up, you'll be able to see this. If you wake up at dawn, here I'll give you the view from dawn on Sunday morning. This is what will greet you on Sunday morning at dawn. Right there is the moon with... Right there is Regulus. Let me bring it down. There you go. There's the quarter moon with Regulus at dawn on Saturday morning. So this is Saturday, November 27th is when this will greet your eye. It's just beautiful to see this. And of course, flanking these are two bright stars, Arcturus, right there in the constellation Bootes the herdsman, and then Procyon, the bright star, and Canis Minor, the little dog, just beautifully flanking this pairing of the quarter moon with Regulus, the heart of the lion. So that's Saturday morning. So there you go, folks. Some really fun, easy to see sights, things that you can use your naked eye, or unaided eye, to find these things, even if you're in suburban skies. And if you have binoculars, this is a great chance to look at star clusters, of course, looking at the farthest object the human eye can see, the unaided eye, 2.6 million light year distant Andromeda galaxy, and a lineup of other planets at sunset. Just beautiful stuff. So Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoy this video, you like what you're seeing, I'd really appreciate your signing up and subscribing to my channel, whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or on Facebook. Show your support by clicking on that subscribe button. Make sure you also hit that notification so you don't miss my next video that I come out every Monday. And of course, I'll be posting sky charts during the week of anything else interesting in terms of photographs and sky charts that come my way during the week. With that, I wish all of you guys clear skies. Bye-bye.